How's it going, guys? So today we have an EliteBook HP. The customer stated that she used to work at, let's say, a phone company and she got this computer and they let her have it, but she doesn't have the BIOS password. I'll show you guys how to remove it and then reformat it to where we can do a fresh installation and bypass that BIOS password screen. So let's go ahead and get to it. So let's get started here. I'm gonna get my handy dandy tweezers right there, really small. So we're gonna go ahead and get that. But what I'm gonna do first is I'm just gonna heat it up a little bit, okay? Try to get that solder melted before I put any heat onto the board. You definitely want to put flux on it to help it come off a lot easier. So we're gonna put a little bit of flux right there. So let's turn on our hot air. You just want to get this heated up a little bit, just until the pins start to get melted and go back and forth. You don't want to stay in one spot, okay? I did just turn it on. Oh, there it goes. And that came off. Perfect. We're gonna have to solder this down onto our programmer. Another tip right here. All right, and just apply it so I can have it on those sections right here on these pins. Add a little bit more. Just make sure it's got an even amount throughout. Perfect. Put this back on. Perfect. Now we'll just heat it up a little bit. There you go, it's going into its own place. You can kind of help it, tap it a couple times. There you go. All right, guys, so we did take off the BIOS chip. What we're gonna do right now is we're gonna have it connected to our programmer right here, our Easy Pro programmer. We're gonna connect this to the computer and then flash it, wipe it, and do a fresh BIOS and see if that solves our problem. So I'll go ahead and do that off camera and get the chip back onto the computer, and then we'll see if that fixed our issue. So we tried doing the reset. The BIOS bin file does not look like it has any passwords when we try to reset it. So what I'm gonna do is just put the chips back and see if we can turn it on and see if there's a way to bypass it. There are a few tricks that I do know, so I'll try to do that, and then I'll let you know if it comes on or not. I already have the chip removed. We're gonna put it back right now. So what I'm gonna do is prep the chip here. Let's go back. There it is. I'm just gonna put a little bit of solder on the tip. What you can do is you can just set it here and put it on the board. Just touch that a little bit. Touch these pins. Touch these pins. That's it. That's all you do. Just make sure you prep the board with fresh solder. This is a little too much, so we'll just go ahead and remove some. And then put that back. We'll go ahead and get our chip. Make sure we have it in the right direction. So the lettering was on this side. Pin 1 is up here. Let's make sure. Sorry, pin 1 is down here. You see this is arrow pointing to where the pin is supposed to be. So we're going to put this down here. Get off. All right. Let's go ahead and align that a little bit. And start heating it up. Give it a little nudge, back and forth. All right. Now that we got that, we'll take our solder here, get that off, get that off. Just heat it up a little bit more. All right, that's it. Now we're gonna put it all back together and we'll see if we fix the issue. We did try to reset it. Hopefully it worked. If it didn't, then we're gonna try a different way. All right, guys, so I got great news and bad news. So the great news is I was able to install the OS. The bad news is it still has the BIOS password. I wasn't able to remove it. Did give it a try, it didn't work, but I did get to bypass the point to where I could boot from the USB. So I had a bootable ISO of Windows 11 and I installed Windows 11. And now I'm just gonna install the updates and do all the updates for it and install the drivers and everything. I'll call the customer and let her know that I succeeded in installing a fresh OS installation. You know, she brought it in for the OS installation, but it also had a BIOS password once I tried to do the installation, and I wanted to remove that for her as well. Everything is good to go. We're gonna finish this up and see you guys next time.